I'm just kidding. I'm not actually gonna go that far. I know that was a little dramatic, but alright. So what's going on, guys? It's Nick, and no, this is not exactly the kind of video I want to make. However, the New York Giants are my team, so I do feel obligated to make this video. I needed a couple days for this because, as most of you know, I'm in Japan, and those 1 o'clock games are at 2 a.m. in my time zone, so I'm unable to stay up for that. However, I really do try to keep up with the team as much as possible every step of the way. I did watch as much as I possibly can on YouTube to really figure out how exactly the Giants lost this game since I couldn't actually watch it. Yesterday I tried to do this, got interrupted twice, hopefully no interruptions this time. Even while overseas, I really do try to keep up with this team every step of the way, even as miserable as they make me, because I've loved this team since Kerry Collins was the quarterback. At least the Yankees are winners of their last 7. Perhaps that'll be why I probably won't raise my voice too much, if at all, but I definitely have to speak out. I'm very happy that the Yankees are playing well, but boy do the Giants really depress me. Us Giants fans, we've been through the best of times. This, and also you see that too back there, right? Those are 2 of the greatest days of my life. I'll cherish those for the rest of my life. Right now though, this is rock bottom. This franchise is pretty much equal to the Jets. Well, almost. The only difference is the Jets fans have had to be miserable for a lot longer than we have. But the fact that this comparison even came into my thought process. Now, before I continue on here, I wish Blake Martinez a speedy recovery. He was a big part of the Giants' defense last year. I really thought he should have made the Pro Bowl. Him tearing his ACL is totally devastating. Shane Lemieux as well, wishing you a speedy recovery. Also, if you're a Giants fan who wants to grieve with me, or if you just want to listen to me talk, yeah, if you could please consider hitting that like button, that'd be much appreciated. That's how we get this out to more people. If you could please consider subscribing if you're new, and also hitting that notification bell, that'd be much appreciated. Also, if you want to follow me on social media, the links are down below, and I'll follow you back. So, now, back to our regular program. You start out 0-2. Those first 2 games were bad enough. And then you can't even beat the Atlanta Falcons, one of the worst teams in the league. Obviously not worse than the Giants though, if the Giants actually managed to lose to them. This was a very winnable game, and you laid an egg. Only 14 points against that pathetic defense. On the day, Eli Manning gets his number retired. By the way, Eli, thank you for the memories. We went through the good, the bad, and ugly with you, but there's no question the good far outweighs the bad. 2-time Super Bowl MVP, best quarterback in franchise history. Of course, the good far outweighs the bad, and you definitely deserve better than to have this debacle happen on the day you get your number retired. I really wanted to be optimistic this year. In fact, I predicted back in May that this team would be 11-6. Boy, was I wrong. Around the time we got to the start of the season, I was thinking more 9-8 or 10-7, but that's looking like a stretch too. I gotta start with John Mara. You deserved every single bit of those boos that came your way at halftime for how awful you've ran this franchise lately. You are becoming the James Dolan of football. Well, James Dolan is terrible for his own reasons, but whatever, you both suck, alright? Now you, Joe Judge. Wow, are you making us look dumb for ever having raved about you? I was definitely one of those guys that thought you are the guy for the future, you are the next great head coach, and I will definitely take my L for that. I know I'm not the only one who actually thought that, but you're definitely proving us wrong. You sure talk like a great head coach, but you don't actually coach like one at all. Talk is cheap. Talk the talk all you want. How about you start walking the walk? You always preach fundamentals and execution, yet this team can't even do the bare minimum with that. Every time this team gets in the red zone, you get penalties that send you back to the 30-yard line. This team has no discipline whatsoever. That's your fault. You have no idea how to manage the clock either. You talk like this tough guy, yet you opt to punt when your team is on the Falcons' 39-yard line. Now you, Dave Gettleman, you need to go. You said you'd fix this offensive line. You haven't done that. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. at first because you came in to clean up a mess that Jerry Reese created. It's been 4 years now. You haven't gotten this franchise anywhere. This franchise is exactly where it was the day you came in. Well, maybe 3 games better, but whatever. Like that's any progress at all, since this team only won 3 games the year before you got hired. And now this team may be in search of their 3rd head coach in 4 years since you've been the GM. You've also yet to draft anyone we think can stay a household name for this franchise for years to come. We thought that would be Saquon Barkley in 2018. Okay, I can't be too hard on you for that though, because I don't think any quarterback, even Josh Allen, could have been properly developed with the Giants, so I still think Saquon was the right pick. Even if he may not have the same burst that he had back then because of his ACL tear. He has shown some glimpses of it this year though. Maybe it'll take some time before he really does get that back, but for now, yeah, he really doesn't have that same burst he once had. That said though, as much as I really like him, I've loved him since day one, even his spot on the team is definitely not safe. No one on this team is safe. You really haven't drafted that amazingly overall though. When you cut Kevin Zeitler to save money, I thought the plan was to replace him in the draft, but nope, when you said that you would fix the offensive line. How about you actually do what you say? At least you drafted Andrew Thomas though, but you haven't really done much else to fix the offensive line. Week 3. I have PFF right in front of me right now. Andrew Thomas, okay, I gotta give you credit for that though. Andrew Thomas and Billy Price were both bright spots for the Giants in pass protection, but none of the Giants' offensive linemen earned PFF run blocking grades above 70. Nate Solder was a liability at right tackle, and guards Ben Bredesen and Will Hernandez allowed multiple pressures on the interior. You've had 4 years to fix this offensive line. You haven't done it yet. Come on. Literally 4 years. Andrew Thomas has looked good so far this year, but overall the offensive line, you've had 4 years and you just haven't done it. 4 years should be more than enough time. This year's draft, okay, Azeez Ojulari has 3 sacks in 3 games. I'll also cut you some slack there. I did like it when you traded down in the draft to prepare for next year by having 2 first-round picks. Don't get me wrong there. However, you did have a chance to draft Rashawn Slater, and instead you traded down and got a guy who's clearly turning out to be a project at best. You don't draft projects in the first round unless it's a quarterback who's learning under a seasoned vet for a couple years. I did think Kadarius Toney's speed and Kenny Galladay's ability to get those 50-50 balls would be a match made in heaven. It's turning out to be more like an overpay and a bad pick. I won't really be hard on Galladay though, because he's not being utilized the way he should be, although he has been able to draw some pass interference calls. Kadarius Toney apparently doesn't even know the playbook though. Is that correct? How are you an NFL player and 3 weeks into the season, you still don't know the playbook? Bizarre to me. This offseason, you gave Leonard Williams and Adoree Jackson a lot of money. Okay, my USC fandom is mostly what excited me. Hey, at least my college team fired someone they needed to fire. Good riddance Clay Helton, although USC is still not the powerhouse they once were. Want to know how I became a USC football fan? Watch my Sam Darnold video from when he went to the Panthers. But back to the main subject. You gave these guys all this money, and Kenny Galladay too. It's not working out. At least Leonard Williams got his first sack of the season on Sunday, but otherwise has been a non-factor, even though he was a beast last year. These were moves I myself was excited for. It's not working. Hey, that's why I'm not a GM. But apparently I know as much as Dave Gettleman, huh? There's nothing to blame Jerry Reese for anymore, because the only guys left from when he was the GM are Evan Butterfingers Engram and wow, another fumble, huh? Yeah, he really can't hold on to the ball. And also Sterling Shepard. I do like Sterling Shepard even though he is injury prone. Jason Garrett. This was a hire I hated the day it was made. I was told perhaps now that he only has to focus on the play calling rather than everything, he may not be so bad. Well, even while just focusing on the play calling, he is that bad. As much as I despise the Dallas Cowboys, I do give credit when it's due, and I usually defended Tony Romo from the haters way more than a Giants fan probably should. Well, now I know exactly why, because Romo had to put up with this idiot throughout his career, or most of his career. Yeah, this may be my favorite Romo memory of all time, but even with that said, I give credit when due. Romo overcame one really absolute trash coach in Jason Garrett for most of his career and happened to be a very successful quarterback. This defense looked so good last year, even without an edge rushing presence, and I had high hopes for them this year now that they addressed the edge rushing as well as cornerback depth. Patrick Graham seemed like a great defensive coordinator. He's not looking like one at all now. The first 2 games, awful. The first game, it was really the second half when things got terrible. This latest game, you at least held the Falcons to 17 points, but in the fourth quarter, the Falcons had over 10 minutes of time of possession. When your offense finally scores a touchdown, you just let the Falcons drive the ball down the field and eat up that much time. Yeah, the Falcons had such a hard time all game moving the ball down the field, but then, okay, let's bring the blitz now. Make the adjustment when something isn't working, not when something is. Who told you to make adjustments when something actually is working? Adore, you know I love you, man. I became a USC fan while you were at USC. That ball in the end zone that you should have intercepted, that was right in your hands. At least you said my bad. At least you took responsibility. But that would have sealed the game had you gotten that interception like you should have. Only leading to a pass interference by Logan Ryan on the very next play. Then a touchdown. And that was actually a well-designed play by the Falcons. I will give credit there. But man, Adore, you should have put the game away right there. No one was around you. You had the ball right in your hands and you couldn't come up with it. Now, I've been hard on Daniel Jones before, but I won't be too hard on him here. Yes, he's had some of his own failures at times, but I really believe that he's being set up for failure. Yes, he did mishandle that snap, and come on, you definitely shouldn't be dropping that snap. But also, I really do think he's been given the short end of the stick. Dave Gettleman drafted Daniel Jones because he fit Pat Shurmur's scheme, right? I'm not saying Pat Shurmur was a great head coach by any means. Oh no, he was not a great head coach at all. Pretty bad one, actually. However, drafting a quarterback because he fits the head coach's scheme, and then firing the head coach after his rookie season, that really makes no sense. I really don't like to make excuses for people, but it also doesn't help when you give him Butterfingers and Darius Slayton and Evan Engram. I didn't rant about last week's loss because I was sick. Not COVID though, but yeah, I was too sick to be able to rant about that. I wasn't going to Michael Jordan flu game that. Darius Slayton, how do you not catch that ball? I was going through stomach pain last week that was so severe that I couldn't even stand up straight. Yet I could have caught that ball that Darius Slayton dropped in the end zone that would have sealed that game too. Sure, Daniel Jones has his own fumbling problems too, but man, Evan Engram with that fumble on Sunday, I still can't believe that Evan Engram actually made the Pro Bowl last year. I really can't believe it. I'm still flabbergasted by that. I really do love this team, but what this team has become the last 5 years is pathetic. I especially hate to see this happen on Eli Manning Day. Michael Strahan Day is on November 28th against our hated rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't even get me started with how much I despise them. And you see this? I know you've seen me wear this jersey before, or I know you've seen it hanging back there if you're not new here. Michael Strahan's my favorite player of all time. You better not ruin the day that he gets his number retired. As long as the season continues to go like this, sure, I will still cover the Giants on here, but I definitely won't be doing this every week because it's not fun. But at the same time, I'm not going to be one to hide from it either. Perhaps I should try to look for other teams to cover from time to time on here as well. Of course, I'm still going to cover the Giants. I feel obligated to because they are my team. But it's just not fun. If you want to follow me on social media though, yeah, once again, links are in the description. Then I don't have to spend so much time editing these videos where I'm upset. So, alright. If you want to consider liking the video to help support the channel, that'd be much appreciated. Subscribe or hit the notification bell. That'd be much appreciated as well. Hey, other Giants fans watching this, hey, we'll get through this together. This team sure isn't fun to watch. They sure do depress us. But I guess life goes on anyways, right? I pray that the Giants do get this together, even though there's very little reason to believe right now. There's very little reason, actually no reason at all to be positive about this team. But I guess what can we do? Because it's not something we can control, right? But hey, you know what? Every time I've done rant videos for the Yankees, that's when they seem to do a lot better. So hopefully I have this kind of magic for the Giants too. Not that I think it's going to happen, but Sure would be nice if the Giants just get red hot from here, but let's be real. They had a very winnable game just now, and their schedule going forward is going to get pretty tough. Alright. You guys have a lovely day. Bye.